and caveat this, that this still, according to everyone I've talked to in or around the White House, everyone maintains that this is still extremely unlikely. And more to the point, we don't even know if Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin is interested in pursuing this. But we can report, according to 3 people with direct knowledge of the conversations, Mnuchin has had discussions about invoking the 25th Amendment, which would allow the cabinet and the vice president to unilaterally get rid of the president. Again, can't stress this enough. Still does not seem like the most likely outcome here. Right. But the fact that this has been discussed at all is a remarkable indication of the fallout within the Trump administration itself to the events at the Capitol.
Yeah, and Jeff, that I think is a really important point, because obviously, the vice president has not indicated in any way that he's on board, which is a big issue. And there's questions, right? You have so many people have been leaving the cabinet, so how would this even happen? But to your point, Mnuchin, who, very well respected, came into this administration, stuck through it by the president's side. He has been very loyal by staying, right? Many others have left and made it clear that they can't tolerate it. So what does it tell you that he's even engaged in these conversations?
I think as someone who has covered Steven Mnuchin for a number of years now, I never really thought I would see the point at which you could even hear private complaint from the Treasury Secretary about the president. His fealty, his obedience, his loyalty to the president has been remarkable since Treasury Secretary Mnuchin joined as campaign finance co-chair in 2016. Mnuchin, of course, shielded President Trump's tax returns despite a 1924 congressional law that explicitly gave Congress the right to see them. He has defended the president after his remarks following Charlottesville over and over again. After controversy, we have seen Mnuchin go to bat for the president. And the fact that, as I reported in my story today, Mnuchin is privately expressing frustration and anger towards how the president handled this is really a remarkable sign of how even people close to the president are appalled by what happened on Wednesday.
Jeff, thank you very much. And as that news breaks, also breaking this hour, federal prosecutors announcing another person charged after the riot on Capitol Hill. That brings the total now to 14 federal charges. This is the founder of the Hawaii chapter of the far-right Proud Boys, arrested after admitting to CNN that he had entered the U.S. Capitol. Federal prosecutors also charging another man, Richard Barnett. That is the man you see photographed kicking his feet up on the House Speaker's desk, writing on a folder, quote, "We will not back down." Pete Montine is out front. And Pete, what else do you know about the charges that are announced today?
Stunning new details here, Aaron. The Department of Justice says one man packed his truck full of explosives, parked it only a few blocks from here, but it wasn't for hours until police made that discovery. Investigators say the fallout for him and many more in Wednesday's mob is only just beginning. New court documents detail the charges against Lonnie Kaufman of Alabama, who federal officials say packed his truck with 11 Molotov cocktails, a handgun, and an assault rifle, and parked it only a block from the Capitol grounds. He is one of 13 people just charged by the Department of Justice, as investigators are scouring the internet for images to identify those involved in Wednesday's attack on the Capitol. Federal officials also just charged West Virginia state lawmaker Derek Evans after he live-streamed from inside the Capitol and identified himself. Evans' attorney insists his client is not a criminal, instead exercising his First Amendment rights as a, quote, independent activist and journalist. Evans later deleted the clip, but West Virginia's governor did not mince words about what he saw.
It's a scar on West Virginia. How in the world can we possibly think that's anything but bad stuff?
Also arrested, the man seen sitting at a desk in House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office. Richard Barnett of Arkansas now faces a trio of federal charges, including theft of public property, an act he detailed in a local television interview on Thursday.
I sat down here at my desk. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a patriot. That is her desk. We loaned her that desk, and she ain't appreciating the desk, so I thought I'd sit down and appreciate the desk. I threw my feet up on the desk.
But not all the consequences are coming through the justice system. A Texas attorney is no longer employed by his insurance company after posting what he called peacefully demonstrating on Facebook. A Maryland marketing company fired a worker seen inside the Capitol wearing his company ID badge. And former Pennsylvania state lawmaker Rick Saccone resigned from his post as an adjunct college instructor after he posted this video to Facebook.
They broke down the gates. They're macing them up there. We're trying to run out all the evil people in there and all the rhinos that have betrayed our president. We're going to run them out of their offices.
Police in Washington are distributing photos of those who stormed the Capitol and now say they've received more than 17,000 tips. D.C.'s acting police chief says they will aggressively pursue persons of interest.
We still have a significant amount of work ahead of us to identify and hold each and every one of the violent mob accountable for their actions.
Investigators say the photos are key for them, Aaron. The FBI set up its own portal so people can upload their own photos, but in a place already laden with cameras, it will become especially hard to hide from the law. Aaron?
All right, Pete, thank you very much. Next, you have to see this. Senator Ted Cruz. So he's in cleanup mode tonight, giving an interview, trying to explain his strong support for Trump. He claims that he has strongly disagreed with the president, that he's been a critic of the president. The facts, next. And sources telling CNN a Trump impeachment trial could take place after Trump is out of office. How? What? Will it happen?